Hello, everybody. All right, what's happening? Thank you for coming over here and hanging out today. I got a few articles, and I want to have a little bit of fun. We're going to look on my Twitter page. What do I do on my Twitter page? What am I trying to share on there? We need to take a look and see what's going on. It's actually, if you want to know half of the things that I would love to say on YouTube, you should check this out on Twitter, because I find this stuff and I share it because it's very relevant and it speaks a lot of parts that put things together when it comes to what the plan is so far as the whole global thing. And I'll show you a little bit about it in fun videos, and very informative, and it's easy to get people to see this because they're only, they're short for the most part. But I want to show you a couple of articles and try to get a hold of the necessary components and how this takeover will happen, what to look for, how to resist it, and why. Okay, one of them here I'm going to show you was Chase Bank and what happened here recently with people's bank accounts, and all of a sudden just shut them down. Just decided not to, no banking, and if you've put all your eggs in one basket, you can't get any of your eggs. Basket sucks. Stupid basket. And we're going to read into that a little bit. And also, have you ever noticed, it seems like politicians just sort of like move forward with no regard as to what reality and or consequences are. I'm going to show you a little bit about that. It has to do with what I've got on my Twitter page. And there's a happy ending to the whole thing, and Joe Biden was a big part of it. I'm going to show you a video about that. This right here is going to have you completely blown away. You're going to be surprised and happy to hear this. Promise you guys. So stick around. Let's dig into a little bit of this right quick here, and I hope you enjoy. And thank you, like I say, once again for coming over and hanging out. So over here at Chase Bank, they suddenly shut down bank accounts of Mercola Market and its employees with no explanation. The owner blames political bias. Now, Florida-based retail health company Mercola Market and its employees were shocked when J.P. Morgan Chase Bank suddenly terminated their bank accounts without explanation, Florida's Voice reported. A politician right now is recently under fire, Miami mayor, for donating like $500,000 to a Chinese to a company that has a bunch of Chinese ties. Anyway, getting off. Mercola Market, a company renowned for its specialty food, drink, supplements, pet products, and other health items, is owned by Dr. Joseph Mercola, a critic of the stuff that was apparently released upon us for some kind of agenda. If you can, I'm being careful with my speak here, guys. Okay, understand that. And Mercola has practiced medicine since '85 and founded the world's largest natural health website. By the way, just to give you a quick little history about a lot of things, natural substances are not able to be patented. So for a patent to take place, you can derive something from a natural substance and then create a quote unquote man-made or synthetic form of that by changing out some of the things that go on, and then you can patent that. And you see that a lot of times that actual stuff that they've come out with to help people with certain things when it comes to things was derived from a natural substance. In other words, is natural medicine a bad idea? Is it? Think about that. I'm not naming anything or claiming anything, but just think about that. Okay, so the reason for this sudden decision, however, was left unexplained. No explanation. And the financial institutions have an obligation to know our customers and monitor transactions that flow through our customers' accounts. After careful consideration, we decided to close your accounts because of unexpected activities and this or another Chase account, according to the letter from Chase Bank. Now, I can say honestly that happened to me as well. Not to this. It wasn't like it's a good thing it wasn't on. It was one of my accounts. And I had gotten some stuff from the InfoWarsStore.com website. And that card got taken down because it said it looked like there was some nefarious activity on it. Didn't even notify me or anything. Just said, because I got a call from the bank like after it was done. They didn't ask me any questions. They're like, yeah, we had to cut that card out because it's doing something. It looked like there was. I said, no, that was me. They're like, oh, was that an accident? Or was that like a way to throw a monkey wrench into my machine that's trying to work, that's somewhat well oiled over here? I don't know. You guys tell me in the comment section. But that's only happened once so far, and hopefully we won't see that again. I have a local bank, thank goodness, and it's some right for right now. But a voicemail from a Chase representative and a CEO, Stephen Ray, stated that the reasons for closing his personal and his wife's accounts could not be disclosed for legal reasons, because of the fact that if they told him it would be illegal, maybe I don't know. But anyhow, so okay. What am I talking about this for? We never talk about finance stuff over here. I know. I really don't even really. I hate dealing with. I know I run a business and I have to buy and sell things to make money and my service and all whatnot and everything and all that there and all. But to be honest with you, I really would just find life a lot simpler if we could get around, being so worried about finances. But we have to be. Thank my wife. Thank you, honey, out there, sweetheart, my love, for being such a wonderful person and having a good regard. See, I worry about all this cars and this stuff here. My wife, she's like, she's good. She's good. Thank you, wife, for keeping everything together. Lovely. Shout out to my beautiful wife. She's lovely and she supports what I do. And thank goodness for that. Okay, so back to what I'm saying though is thank goodness in the United States that right now currently we do have somewhat of a financial freedom when it comes to how we spend our money. It is accounted for, and we do need to pay our taxes, which I do a lot of, by the way. But the thing is like I can spend my money wherever I want to, for the most part, especially if it's on a cash basis. You can do that. If this is a new thing, or if they can get into the CBDCs, the not the CBDs. CBDs are one thing. We'll talk about that in another video. But CBDCs are a little bit different, and they will stress you out more than they will help you out. That is your central digital bank currency thingamajiggy. And that will enable, if you want to talk about a way to monitor, and here's the deal. I have a prediction, and I have a really weird prediction, guys. I think the people who will save us from CBDCs are the actual people who sell the drugs and crack. I'm just letting you know that, because whenever this all goes down, they're going to have all this stuff that they need to sell on the street corner. And I'm not, look, don't even be there. I don't want some lefty gonna be like, he talking that capital R word. No, I'm not. Anybody shouldn't be, covers all pigmentation, by the way, are going to be like, man, I can't peddle my product. Or people that, old people be on disability and or whatever, and they get their prescriptions for $1, and they'll sell half of it, $4 or $5 a pill, and they will. And they want to do that on a cash basis. And they're not even criminals. They're just old people trying to get by because they don't get enough Social Security because they're giving it all to foreign people who aren't supposed to be here. So that's how. My phone even says yes. You're right. You hear that? The phone agrees. Anyhow, you can kiss all that goodbye if they go to a complete CBDC. You'll have zero financial freedom. And for the most part, they'll make it fun and happy and give you rewards and get you all on it, and then just do away with all the cash in the world. And next thing you know, that's when the iron fist, the hammer comes down, and it'll be fast, and it'll be heavy, and it'll be hard. It'll hurt you. By the way, speaking of what will hurt you, LeBron James. Okay, we know that LeBron James is his 18-year-old son, Bronny. I guess that's his name. Should I have already known this? Bronny James. So LeBron James named his son Bronny James. Whose idea was that? I just now thought of that. That just hit me. Is that wrong? I know we're worried about what's going on with this dude over here, and I'm really sad that he's in this situation because a lot of people aren't as informed as we are. Even though they're rich, they're powerful, they're plugged in, they are not as don't think for 1 second that they got the edge on us. they're at a different they're decimal points in a different place, and so is their mindset. So think about that. Here, this dude has got sold some kind of lie, and it looks like Warren, this could be. It is the end of your career. I don't care what caused the whole thingamajig to happen to him, but here's the deal: whenever something like this takes place, you sign on a contract, and it's millions of dollars, and you are someone's investment to make them money back through advertisements or pimping out, however you want to look at it. I don't know, but anyhow, you are no longer guaranteed, or your percentage of guaranteed of return investment has diminished considerably, considering the fact that most people that suffer this at any age may survive at the moment. But years later, which it might not even, it could be 4 or 5 years, they're out. And here's the deal. All this stuff was forced on people because it's, you were given ultimatums. And yes, you could completely end your career and what you're doing and stuff, so you don't have to do that, whatever they were trying to do. You know what I'm talking about. But it was it's a big thing. This is some of the most criminal stuff I've ever seen before in my life. Whatever happened there, I don't know. You tell me in the comment sections. But the dude is messed up. So is DeMar Hamlin. He ain't running around no more like you saw him. Ain't nobody DeMar. Woo, no, you're done. He just out there. He just kind of just jogging along beside everybody, just making it look good for the mainstream masses to see him out there. Speaking of mainstream masses, check this out. So we're on my Twitter page. I just love to share stuff like this because it's quick and it's easy. But check this out. Let me get this thing pulled up here. Okay, I'm going to pause it because what we want to do is, okay, we see that. What this is, and I want you to tell me what this is. Let's see if we can't get this. Let me just watch this.
Administrative matters first. I wanted to introduce into the record page 55 from the committee's.
On the right. I want you to look at this chick over here on the right, and I'm assuming I know. Shh. Well, just run with that. Watch this.
Interview with FBI employees. Just have some administrative matters first. I wanted to introduce into the record page 55 from the.
I may need to get myself out of the way. I don't know. Am I in the way here? Let me. I want you to be able to see. I'll get right here in the middle, right there. Okay, check this out. Just stick with me. This is really strange stuff. Watch this.
Committee's interview with FBI employee Roya Demlow, who you.
Okay, now read the little subtitle. Thank goodness whoever put this out. I'm giving credit to. I don't know who it is.
I wanted to introduce into the record page 55 from the committee's interview with page 55 from the committee's interview which took place on July 17, 2023. In that,
watch closely. We're almost through this, but this is I want to.
Which took place on July 17, 2023. In that, we're to leave this interview and we're to suggest or imply that when you said the laptop was real, that it meant that the FBI had affirmatively determined in October 2020 that the laptop.
This is where the camera catches. She sees the camera looking at her, and watch this.
Belonged to Hunter Biden.
Yeah, did she realize? She says, "Look, let's look again." She's moving
We're to
around.
leave this interview and we're to suggest or imply that when you said the laptop was real, that it meant that the FBI had affirmatively determined in October 2020 that the laptop belonged to Hunter Biden.
Okay. So here's the deal. Does anybody remember watching the X-Files and whatnot? No, you ever watch? Everybody, if you're probably watching this channel, you've been watching some X-Files, and so what are we doing over here? There we go. You watch some X-Files, and there was an episode where a dude had a tumor in his brain, but it was squeezing on a gland that emitted some kind of hormone that was able to supercharge his mind into a situation where he could actually telepathically, override your thoughts and inject his perception and his thoughts. Does anybody remember that? I don't know. But here's the deal. There's been so many things that we've seen on the X-Files show, like that one episode where the dude his ear started ringing so bad that whenever it produced a pressure and it blew the side of his head out because it was started in perpetual motion by an ultra low frequency that was being emitted to try to talk to submarines that are underneath the water through this huge long antenna system that stretched from county lines that was never told to the public by the Marines and the DARPA people, and they kept it all secret, and it was causing people it wiped out a whole town. Now this is, of course, that's like fiction and all that, but here's the deal: there are things that they use for stuff like that, and there has been situations where people have had some weird stuff happening, but We've even seen there was a movie based on people being that there was a movie, and it was the guy from the show Benson. He was in it. It was Benson in that show Soap. He was the black dude on that show. He was the main actor where these people were brought down into the deep underground military base, and they were used to telepathically interject their thoughts to give us some certain leader, like to be able to take out people remotely using psychic thought. Now, I know I'm going down a deep rabbit hole, and I know this might be a stretch for some of the people that's watched this channel for a long time and never heard me talk like this. But however, we've got to understand that there is a lot more to this universe. There's a lot more to the things that go on around us that would never be able to come out, that nobody would ever say anything about, because of the fact if we were told what we had as far as powers as humans, it would be completely it would cause a ripple in the system, and the control wouldn't be able to be had over us. Okay, now there's been talks in this here that was a human something hybrid, whatever. That is not a far stretch. The Bible talks about that. The Bible says the reason why I had to do a whole bunch of stuff over here is because of these people kind of mingled together that came from this other entity, and next thing you know, you've got these hybrids and never had to deal with them. And here we are right now with these acting crazy people and doing some really strange stuff that looks completely like self-destruction to anything sustainable. Hold second, please let me get this phone. That's my cue to move on to the next subject, maybe, possibly. But check this out. We're going to see more of this stuff now that it's been exposed. And maybe, hopefully, we can put some pieces together. And I hope you enjoy that little rabbit hole. Got another one. Check this out. Let me get myself out of the way here. Back over here on this corner. And this is something that is like, okay, we see this stuff right here. You see that. You see that. Okay. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to say anything. What a beautiful sky, right? Beautiful. Look closely. I think everybody needs to take a little bit of moments, because I can't count how many people that I've talked to, and they're like, man, I'm sure in my sinuses, and I'm like, it's that stuff, and I point up, and next thing you know, they're like looking at me like I'm a little bit nutty, and then I would say, come outside and let me show you something real quick, and I would walk them outside of the shop, and then what I would do is point up, and I would let them notice themselves. Do you see that plane there? Do you see that plane there? Do you see that plane over here? And they're like, yeah. I said, do you notice there's something strange about how they're moving all in one grid? And next thing you know, watching a little bit, this is going to... Then that same person, one out of many, would come back later to either pick up their car, or they would even call me on the phone and say, dude. Well, they wouldn't say... Some of them wouldn't say dude. I'm paraphrasing dude, okay? Because some of these people are old. They all be like, hey. So, they're like, man, this is strange. And I'm like, yes, you will only notice more now. Please keep looking up. But here's a dude. I said it, dude. Watch this. I won't go through the whole 5 minutes, but watch this.
Is the temperature increasing or decreasing? It's always doing one.
Oh, by the way, look closely. Richard Lynson, MIT professor of meteorology. So it's an MIT professor. This dude just isn't just somebody that's like me sitting in a garage talking a bunch of junk. This guy has actual real credentials, so let's check him out.
One or the other. I have no concern about that. By asking people to worry about whether it's going up or down, you're immediately establishing dishonesty. The earth is always changing. Climate change is nothing you have to prove. It always is happening. It always has happened. So to make that into something alarming seems to me a little bit weird. Sea level is a hard thing to measure, actually. At any given place, traditionally, sea level was measured by what are called tide gauges. A stick in the water, basically. And two things change what a tide gauge shows: the land moving up and down, and the sea moving up and down. In most places, it's the land that is the biggest effect. So you don't have a good measure of sea level rise. On the other hand, for the last 30 years or so, we've had satellite measurements that are actually measuring sea level. It's very hard to relate these two measurements to each other. They were measuring different things. The general feeling is there is no evidence that it's different now than it has been for the last few thousand years. It's been slowly rising ever since the initial rapid rise after the deglaciation 12,000 years ago. The claim that we've suddenly seen a big change in that, given we've changed the instrumentation and given the error bars cover the difference, is not entirely fair.
Now check this out. You can go on my Twitter page and you can actually watch that rest of that whole video if you want to. But the deal is, and the deal is I'm trying to think if I got it. Oh yeah, I got this Joe Biden thing I want to show you real quick. We'll do that at the very end. The deal is recently they've moved, which I say recently, I would have to say in the last 12 to 15 years, they've moved a lot of the sensors and stuff for temperature from shaded air, from normal, like in school we grew up saying, hey, you put this in a shaded area because that measures the actual outside air temperature in the shade. That's what you measure by. So if you get in the sun, you're actually absorbing the sun's rays and you're getting direct heat, and it's not the same because heat dissipates as it rises off of the Earth's surface. So the sun will hit the ground, and it will, of course, I'm not going to penetrates. A lot of the sun waves actually penetrate because of the fact it's a non-seen spectrum of light that is such a low frequency that it goes into the ground, and that in itself is why they would say that solar activity is reflective of seismic activity and vice versa. So, well, not vice versa, but that just sounds like good work. Put it in there for the heck of it. We're soundcology. So these sensors were moved, and now they're actually going to start doing a thing called ground temperature. They want like heck to try to be able to make numbers that they want. Got to get the numbers they want. That's the thing. That's where the problem lies. Whenever you have data, numbers they want, and that's what happened with one of the other. There was an article that was put out by a really renowned news organization that said that it was the hottest day on Earth in Earth's history. And the next thing you know, 2 or 3 days goes by, then they had to do a correction, but it was never put in mainstream articles so that it could actually be shown that they made a mistake. The article was already wrote, the headlines were already made, the big microphone was passed off, the people got scared, and then they just do whatever. Act on emotion. Isn't that something else? Yes, they made a correction, but they didn't actually make the correction correctly. they screwed up corrected. And so now they need to correct that, if you ask me. Now, but thank goodness with correcting things, this is where we're at. We have right here.
And we're still feeling the profound loss of the pandemic. As I mentioned, we have over 100 people dead. That's 100 empty chairs around the kitchen table.
Okay. I know. Check this out. Here we go. It gets better, though. Watch this.
If you could do anything at all, Joe, what would you do? I said I'd cure cancer. They looked at me like, why cancer? Because no one thinks we can. That's why, and we can. We'd end the cancer as we know it.
So apparently, he has now come up with that ever breakthrough cure. Isn't that great? Great. Way to go, dude. Way to go. So anyhow, that's our good news for the week, and hopefully that will help to get those poll numbers up a little bit. Maybe he could get up above DeSantis if we're lucky. But second worst president? What do you got to do to be first? How do you top Jimmy Carter? Phone, what do you got? You got any ideas? It's just speaking weird stuff to me now. I don't know. But I really thank you guys for hanging out. It's a wonderful thing, and thank you for enjoying my longer content. I actually rather do longer content. Did the shorter content because I'm trying to capture that real quick attention span of a lot of people, and I don't mean to take any of that away from you guys. And I'm glad to see people want to see longer content. That's hope for the world. That means that we've got ideas, and we want to express them, and we want to thrive off of that. So thank you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the support, and you have a wonderful week. We're about out of this thing. It's Wednesday. Week almost over. Please like, subscribe, and share, and have a wonderful week ahead. What's left of it. I'm out.